Strike a Chord podcast. Music chit chat with your hosts Valentina Gikowski and Amla Piriakaba. Welcome to Strike a Chord, Amla.
Welcome, Valentino.
G'day.
Good to have you here.
Good to have you here too. Good to have you here. How you been?
Yeah, good. Good.
Busy?
Yes.
You've been quite busy.
I think we're just discussing gigs and October's quite a busy month for gigs.
It is.
Which is great.
I know.
Which is great.
I think there's a lot of artists internationally coming as well. It's a jazz festival and other sort of
Fringe as well.
Yeah, that's coming up as well. And there's a lot of local acts, a lot of local gigs as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Melbourne's thriving.
Yeah, it's really great to see.
Yeah, it's great to see. But you've also been recording lately.
I have. So have you.
Yes, so have I. I've been trying to diversify myself.
Flamenco combined with various other genres.
With anything I can get my hands on. That sounds good.
I've been loving it so far.
What have you been recording? What are some of the projects?
Gosh, now I recorded a couple of songs on Kate Taylor's I was going to say album. She's doing an album, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
And I can't remember if it's an EP or an album. And I just recently recorded 2 songs of Nina.
That's right. I saw that on the posts.
Yeah, I'm excited about both of those projects. Cool. And what else? And then my own stuff. And I've recorded on yours as well.
Yeah, you have. Where'd you record at Oscars, yeah?
Yeah, the one of the songs was Through the Boîte with Oscar Poncel.
That's right.
Yeah, it's actually going to get featured on Music Victoria.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So if you remember, this is a side note, become a member and you can apply for featured member moments. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
And they'll feature you.
Music Victoria. There we go. On saying that, recording and playing, and I suppose we can have a chat about the various approaches of arranging when you're playing with someone else, or you're playing for someone else, or you're recording for someone else, or you're recording for yourself. So there's a whole different approach. Like there's different approaches in arranging music and recording. I think they go both hand in hand, because you need to arrange before you record, or you can arrange on the fly while you're recording. So
exactly. And you go for it. Go for it.
No,
on that note, you just mentioned that you arranged some stuff with Arif.
Yeah, with Arif Derenshah, is a very good friend of mine, an awesome singer and an awesome singer-songwriter from Cyprus. He's Melbourne based. He's got some really cool stuff. So we did some things with him a few months back, and I think that was more of the formal way of arranging and going through the process. What instruments we're going to have, how we're going to record them, the charts, and where we're going to put things in, where we're going to take things out, and so on and so forth. But there's also another way of doing it.
Yes.
Right? Which is your way of doing it. On the fly.
On the fly.
Where people just hire you and say, all right, Amla, just come and play something.
Yeah.
How do you approach that? How do you? I've been through the same situation, but curious to see what your thoughts are when someone says, "Yeah, all right, Amla, just play something."
Yeah, well, I guess I quite enjoy it. Like I prefer if they give me the track or send me the tracks like a week before or something like that. Then I can actually listen to the song and experiment with potential ideas.
Yep.
But the thing is also, even if I might have an idea and then it doesn't actually work on the day. And then you have to be, which did happen with Nina's, one of Nina's songs. I was working on a violin solo. I was like, this is epic. And then I played it and it didn't actually fit the vibe. And I had to change it. But then it worked in the end. So you've got to be prepared for that as well. Yeah. But I like the freedom as well. Like it depends who you work with too. Sometimes it's really quick.
Yeah. That's so true. It depends on who you work with.
Yeah, some people like very chill about it, like, oh yeah, that's great. But then they also don't really know much about your instrument half the time. They just like the vibe. I think they're going sometimes. But yeah, I enjoy it. Look, I enjoy it. I tend to I tend to get that more often than actual people specifically telling me what to do. But I also really liked when I was recording with you that you gave me specific instructions, and then we were doing a bit of both. Really, we were playing around with ideas as well. But I also liked the structure. So
it can be a good thing, because sometimes if you say to someone, "All right, play something," that can sometimes be probably not the best approach and not the best thing that you can say to a musician. I suppose it depends on the personality of the musician as well. But I think when we were recording and we were doing arrangements for your parts, I had some of a faint idea of what I wanted. But as you know, when you came here, we actually came up with melodies that can suit those parts, and those melodies became epic. Really?
Yeah, well, we use them now for our performances.
That's right.
They're quite catchy.
Yeah. Especially in one of them where we layered the violin and the flutes.
You know, I loved that song.
That was actually on the fly sort of thing with Tamet, because he put in the cello, and then when you came in, you had a bit of structure, but there was something that needed to sort of embellish your instruments, like the flute and the violin. So we did come up with some little things and some little passages and stuff, but that was sort of like on the fly. But again, the structure is there. And I suppose everyone's got structure. Or everyone's got the song.
Everyone's got the song. And I guess there's no one way's not better than the other. They're just different approaches, and I quite like both. I also like the challenge of being told just play something on the fly, because it really just forces you to awaken more musically.
Well, there's challenges on both in both ways.
Oh yeah.
So if someone tells you, "Oh, just play what you think," and then you play what you think, and then
they don't like it.
Oh, I don't like it. Or they say, "Can you play this like this?"
Yes.
And then you can't really play it like that off the first tries, right? And you're going over, and then it's like you're second guessing yourself, and all the insecurities come flooding in, and you think, shit, this little thing I can't play. So, and that's a playing thing, right? But I think when you have a balance of both, like if you're recording a few songs and a few tracks, you get to know the person, or you get to know what their feeling is about. So, like when you came to record with me, I think you got the hang of it after on the second time. You actually knew what it was supposed to sound like. You know,
that's true. Yeah, we did a couple of sessions, and the first session I was feeling a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do here. Yeah.
And that's okay, and that's normal. That's just natural.
You're just getting a feel for it in the first session. You're hearing everything for the first time.
Hearing everything for the first time. And being there with the person who is the artist that's recording. So, I know with some of the process, it's good to have that prior engagement meeting before you actually go and record with the artist. That's how I did it with Arif.
Oh, it's so important. Even Oscar Poncel did that with me. We had our first session was a meeting. You've got to just know. You've got to learn about the creative process and what they want.
Correct. And so that's what I did with Arif. We had a couple of meetings actually. So and we sat down. We wrote out with this song. We knew the song. We know what it sounds like. We know what it's all about. And being the lyrics being in Turkish, she actually translated the lyrics for me, and he was telling me what the song is about. Because sometimes for him, he's a big lyric person. So for him, he's a songwriter. So that's his forte, but he's a very good musician and a very good artist as well. So he can feel and he can see what goes and what doesn't go. So what we did is like we wrote down, all right, from everything that's all the instruments that we have our grasp on, what are we going to put in this track? So we put down this. All right, we'll put that down. We'll see how we go. What's the arrangement? The verse, chorus, and everything like that. So we put all that down. We've gone in and started some of the charts and the intros and stuff, but we haven't actually played or recorded anything, right? So what we've done next is like we've gone and he's done the structure of it, the melody and I suppose the just the foundation of the actual song, and then we've started to layer. Yeah. Now, what sometimes I think those arrangements and how you're going to play this here, you're going to play this here, or you're going to take this out of here and you're going to put that there. That I find easier to do while you're recording, not before.
Yeah, I guess it's more abstract when you're writing it all out. I mean, you get a glimpse of what it sounds like, but you don't actually know what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, and this is where if you sit down and you have a meeting, you see where the opinions are. Like you get your opinion, you put it down. They get their opinion, they put it down. You think, oh, okay, well, all right, this person isn't sort of open to this idea, but they're open to this idea. So you have to get that happy medium and that. That down, because sometimes when you go and you record in and someone's going to come in, say, oh, come in for a session and I want you to do it, you do it and they think, oh, it's not sounding like I was anticipating.
Yeah.
And then you have to explain to them, well, this is what I play, this is how I play it. Maybe I'm not the person.
Exactly.
And this is why having that meeting beforehand when you're recording, you're doing some session work is probably the best way to do it. But in saying that, sometimes magic happens and it's, the expectations have gone above and beyond.
Yeah, or what you weren't even, maybe the idea of what you had, it's a different idea, but it's a better idea.
Yeah. For example, when we were recording together for my album, I had some ideas, but the ideas that you come up with and the ideas that were, put down on the track were way above my expectations. So that's a good thing, and I think that comes with experience.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's all right. Yeah, it does come down to experience, and it comes down to knowledge as well of your instrument.
Yeah, like even what you said before with the someone asking you to play a particular phrase in a certain way. When I was first starting out being a session musician, I couldn't play what they wanted in a certain way, and that was me not knowing how to do that on my particular instrument at the time.
Yeah.
But now with, like you said, with experience and more of an understanding of my actual instruments, I can do it. Or, I mean, let's see, depends what I'm asked to do.
But you're also at a position where you yourself can give options.
Yes.
To the artist.
Yeah.
I can play it like this, or I can play it like this, or I can do it like this, or I can do it like that.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having that experience. That's a lot of power there. Like when I get asked to do, even to this day, I get asked to do some tracks and put some tracks down. They'll send me what the track is, and I'll do maybe 5 or 6 tracks for them, different tracks playing different things, and then they've got all the options. If they like it like this, they can have that. If they don't like it, they take it out. They put this in. With technology these days, you can chop and paste and do whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you haven't got the experience and you haven't got the knowledge to actually put that in, and you haven't got not the smarts, but you haven't got the I suppose the courage to go and record it like this, or to put this down, or because it also takes a lot of recording for some people can be intimidating sometimes. So you got to have that courage to actually go and put what you think it is, and you record it. This is, and I'm talking about not recording at the same time. I'm talking about when people say, "Oh, record it, send me the tracks or whatever," recording in your own studio, and then that's what I'm talking about now. And sometimes you get into this thing, and then you go and hear them again, and then you think, "Oh no, I'm not going to send them that. This sounds like crap." So you go record it again and stuff like that. But what you necessarily think might sound like crap, they might like it. So I end up sending them everything. Yeah. And just
gives them more options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's where the experience lies.
Yeah.
Where you can give the options.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially you can give them options of flute, play it like this, play it like that. Then the violin, you can play it like this, play it like that. You got, when you're a multi-instrumentalist, you can give those options, and potentially you can make more money as well.
Does make a difference. And on that note as well, you've got your own recording studio here, and you've been learning about that world. And
I'm very lucky, very grateful to have my own recording studio and my own space to actually go in whenever I want. I've been blessed actually. I've had that ability, and I've been in every sort of phase of my life. I've always had the home studio. Even when I was like 18 and 19, 20, I built my home studio at my parents' house, and that was it was very, very easy.
Yeah.
Just to go and record whenever you think, during the day. But yeah, that's I'm very grateful to have that. Some people don't have that leisure. They have to go somewhere and record. So it's good.
Yeah, I'm thinking, me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But look, it's good to go out and record somewhere as well, because that's another experience.
It is completely, yeah, and everyone's got their own ideas, and it's cool to get a glimpse of of even what they could do with your music.
Yeah.
Like recently, even Alex Kundalini Project, I gave him a song to remix, and it turned out completely different to what I expected, but it's very cool. Yeah. Like the end result is still really cool. It's not what I had intended for. And
that's very important for you, for your tick of approval. It's your song, so you're on the other end now.
Yeah.
You've recorded, you've done it. You're on the other end now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving it for a remix, or you're giving it for a remaster, or reboot, or read this, read that. So you're just sitting back and watching.
Yeah, and that's quite tricky, because I had to. Initially, I was going, "Oh, what's happening? It's different," and then I heard it a few times and went, "Wow, this is actually very, very cool."
It puts you in a judgmental state, doesn't it? It's like you're judging your own music.
Yeah, you're judging your own music. Yeah,
and you're judging the person who's actually fondling it. So that's another experience.
It really is.
So that changes, because they're changing the arrangement, really.
Yeah.
Whether it's a musical or a sound arrangement, they're changing something. It's in a changed state.
Yes.
So it can be quite scary, I think.
Yeah, initially I was scared, but now that it's going through a record label, because he did such a good job of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
fantastic!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A label in the US or California.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but he did. I mean, that's the thing. I wasn't expecting it to sound the way it did. It's more like a down tempo. I don't want to say dubstep. I get those genres mixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he did such a good job of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So you never know. Again, you just gotta let it happen.
You gotta let it happen. You gotta go with the flow sometimes, and not go against the grain.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we can get so embedded in our music and say, "Oh no, this is how I want it.
That's how I did it. It's not changing. You can't change that."
Mate, I was like that. I was very much like that. Now it's like I want you to go and fondle my stuff.
Wow, I haven't heard that word for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I've used it twice already. But it's funny how someone else's perception of music or of sound is very different to yours, and through no fault of anyone's, it's just different training and different education, maybe different inspiration, different way of listening to things. Like Alex has a different way of listening to things, a different way, of imagining things, right? You have a different way. I have a different way. Sometimes that's where the beauty comes out too, because you would have never thought of it being arranged like what Alex did.
No, he did such a great job. Yeah.
I have to have a listen.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Going in there and having this mindset of, I'm going to go and I'm going to record this thing for this person, or I'm going to go record this thing for myself, and this is going to be the arrangements. This is the format. This is what it is. And you go in there and you hammer it through, and you think, okay, this sounds like shit.
It does happen. I'm sure we've both experienced that. Yeah.
And you think, what can I do to actually improve this? And then you think about different instruments, different people, different things, flipping it on its head, taking the things out, putting things in, and sometimes you just need to leave it.
Leave it for a bit, let it stew. Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's the whole arrangement thing. And sometimes we've heard that song so many times while we're trying to record it a certain way, and we need to step back.
Yeah, we need to step back, and that's a good thing though.
Yeah,
because your mind gets refreshed, and you listen to other sort of things, and you break that that banging your head against the wall, So, and sometimes bringing someone in and having those the other set of ears, just listening to it and thinking, oh, okay, maybe they've got a point, or they'll give you some feedback and think, okay, I'll take that on board and we'll try it.
Yeah.
I have the leisure, and as I said before, I'm very grateful of having things here and in my recording studio where people say, oh, maybe change this, change that. I can change it.
Yeah.
And I can do it. Whereas for some people, they need to go back to the person who's recorded it, or back to, by the time that happens, that can be frustrating too, because it takes time, for you to go back to the person who's recorded it. Can you change this? Can you change that? And then they change it and they come back to you. And then it's, days and weeks and possibly months before things happen.
Yeah, it can. Even your scheduled date for a release, for example, it could be moved, pushed back another month or two.
Correct.
Depending on, like you said, there's a lot of this. I guess once the track's done, and you might even. This has happened to me in the past where you listen to it, and I didn't realize that I'd played a drum slightly out of time. There was like the second beat, and we released it, and then I had to pull it back because I could only hear that out of time drum. But that was me trying to push to the deadline, but I should have just.
See, that's another thing. Pushing to the deadline.
Yeah.
Pushing to the deadline can be quite stressful. Like now, the way I do things, I try and have things already ready a month out.
Yes, I've learned that lesson now.
Yeah. A month out where you can actually listen to it again, and then 2 weeks before, because I don't do any pre-release promos and stuff like that. I don't do anything like that.
You just release it.
I just release it.
Yeah.
It's probably the wrong thing to do or the right thing to do. I don't know. I've heard many stories and many different ways of doing it. But I want to make sure that the mix is properly done, the mastering is done, and the playing above all is there. Because you're right. When you hear that thing all the time, and it'll get to you, and you think,
yeah, and that's what happened. It was on Spotify, and I couldn't enjoy it, and I just had to contact the person and say, "I'm sorry, I actually realised that."
How did they pull it? Did they do it through the distro?
I did it through DistroKid.
DistroKid?
Yeah, I actually just got rid of it and started.
I just got rid of it altogether and then started again.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I figured no one noticed.
Yeah.
I released it
if
like
it's early.
a year later.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
A year later. It took you a year.
I just didn't, and that was just me. It was my own fault.
Yeah. Shit happens, right?
Yes.
But and that's another thing. Being on time.
Yeah.
And when you're recording and you're arranging and stuff like that, and you can just push back, but and that's where I really don't have an excuse for that, because I've got everything here. I can do everything myself. And because I do everything end to end as well.
Yes. I
have no excuse. So the only excuse I can have is if I'm collaborating with someone and they haven't got their shit together, or this is a time thing that we can't we can't agree on timings and stuff like that. That's probably the only issue. Apart from that, everything else is on myself from that perspective.
You have all the tools.
I have all the tools. Yes, I do have all the tools.
Well, you've been releasing a song a month at the moment, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to continue with that. I'm due to release the metal flamenco single.
Oh, that one's epic.
November.
Yeah.
That's due for release in November. Again, there's still a lot of work to do before we release it. So,
yeah.
Because I'm doing a collaboration with a couple of mates of mine. So, again, that's where it is. And this is where it's good to release different things. And I'm enjoying arranging thare different sounds, these different tracks, this different music, because I get to arrange things with people who are part of that genre or want to do something different.
Yeah.
And with people who've got experience as well. It's not just me trying to find my way through this fusion journey that I'm going through. I'm actually speaking with people who are in those genres, and I'm contacting people who are in those genres and collaborating with them that they know the genre inside out. So
yeah,
I'm heading down this journey of fusion, but I'm actually talking to people who have already had their laneway of genre, like I have with flamenco. So And once you probably you join those paths, and then you think, all right, so why is this arranged like that? What makes the arrangement sound like jazz fusion, or what makes the arrangement sound like I don't know, Latin with with jazz, or Latin jazz. And then when you talk to these people and you start sitting down, you have that meeting and you start talking about it, you think, oh, okay, so this is where it comes from. This is how it is. This is how it's played. This is, this is what it's going to sound like. This is what that genre is meant to sound like.
Yeah.
It's like when I go and see, bands and some colleagues playing and stuff like that, and you go and see what they do, and they're doing what they're doing, and you're thinking, that's the grassroots. That's what it is. How would I put myself into their world? It's not about them coming into my world. When I see fusion, I don't say about bringing it into flamenco. Or bringing it into my guitar playing.
Yeah.
I see my guitar playing going into their genre.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I see it, and that's how I see those arrangements. That's how I arrange it, and I don't want it to sound like it's people are coming into my world. I want to go into their world, unless it has to happen.
Yeah.
And that's where again that's the agreement on the arrangement that you're going to have with. Both musically and personally with the collaborators. But I think getting the arrangement done beforehand is quite important. But if it can't be done, then you do the on the fly thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's I think it's very important. The arrangements are very important. However you say it, the arrangements are very important. That's going to make or break the track. Whether, sometimes I'm sure you've done the same where you've gone in the flute or the violin, it's not working, I'll try it.
Oh, yeah, you swap the instrument or even just things like elements, like you might try and add a drum to something and then you realise it actually doesn't need a drum or maybe it needs something else. It might not even be the instruments you have, it might be something completely different or different timbre. Like one song I recorded, I can't remember which one it was, I was missing the mandolin. Because I used to play that song with the mandolin with Corey, and I'd always hear it with that, and I didn't add it in. I mean, it's still great, but I've got that the other version.
You got it in your head.
Yeah,
and that's where the expectations are.
Yeah,
and sometimes I think maybe you need to change.
Oh, definitely, you got to be open to be flexible as well. Use what you have, and
I think sometimes it's the perception that you have.
Yeah,
and sometimes we don't want to change.
No, but it's good to change.
It's good to change.
Yeah.
It's always good to change.
And that's how you evolve in the end as a musician, just being open to different arrangements, especially. Well, it's great what you're doing. I'm enjoying all of your collaborations thus far.
And I'm enjoying it too. This year's been a really mind opener for me. Not an eye opener, but a mind opener. It's opened up a lot of things in my head.
What about your third eye?
My third eye is right there. My third eye is watching other things, and it's saying bring this, do this, do that. That's what it's saying. But I'm really enjoying the journey. I'm really enjoying learning about other genres and learning about other people. So that's where the I suppose the wealth lies. Yeah,
definitely.
The versatility and the wealth. It's not that I don't want to play this genre or that genre. Or, I'm still going to be playing what I play. It's just that I want to experiment. And I think this part of this phase of my life, of my musical life, is where I want to take that journey into the unknown and see what evolves. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It sounds like it's already happening.
Yeah. It looks like.
Yeah.
It sounds like. But yeah, we'll see how things go. It's hard, it's hard to prosper in the world of music, but you just got to be happy.
Yeah, you just got to enjoy it.
You just got to enjoy
and
it. Enjoy
bonus if it gives you a abundant reward.
Yeah, exactly. Put it out in the universe and just enjoy it and enjoy the process. I really enjoy the process of recording.
Yeah.
I think I was very as I've said this before, I was really scared of recording about a year or so ago, when I was towards the end of the album, I was enjoying it again. So I was enjoying it again, enjoying the mixing process, the mastering process, even and the recording process. And it's like a drug. You want to duplicate it again and again and again and again. You want to create when you create and create and create. And not everything's going to be good, but you want to create and enjoy the process. Like, sometimes the process is going to be different. You're going to have a different instrument here, or you're going to bring different people in. And I think that's where the beauty lies.
I mean, I just love that. I mean, you're an actual, you're playing your instruments, your guitar, and all the other instruments you play, and you're also recording your own. I mean, it's such a skill to have, especially now.
Yeah, I mean,
more people are going down that path.
Yeah, yourself, you're a multi-instrumentalist as well, so you know how important and it can be, and how versatile it can be, especially if you're playing your own pieces and you're recording your own stuff. Like for me, I can record the guitar, I can record the keys, I can record the bass, and I can record certain parts of the drums and percussion and this and that. But sometimes I don't want to hear myself playing those things, so I call on other people to do it, because if you want to get something out quickly and stuff, or if it's something that's specific and you know what you want and you're recording it end to end and you're recording all the instruments, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's not a problem. But if sometimes in my recordings, I want a different flavor. So even though I know how to play the bass, I want that flavor of bass to come in.
Of course, yeah. Which a particular person you might have heard.
Exactly. And I can play guitar, I can play electric guitar, I can play acoustic guitar, I can play
saxophone.
Well, I'm playing the ears, but there's a certain type of guitar maybe that I want that I'm not able to play.
Yeah.
So you want to bring that person in, and they're the little things, and that's all part of the arrangement.
Yes.
It's all part of the arrangement.
Yes.
So this is the thing where how am I going to tackle this? All right. So you know what? I probably can't. I'm not cutting it. All right. So get someone who can. It was like, for example, the single that I released with Arif, the bass player, The Journey, that had jazz fusion bass written all over it. Yeah. Arif was a perfect fit for that. Yeah. Right. So we did it, and we did it. It's quite a complex piece, and we did it quite quickly. So also that's where the experience and professionalism lies, where someone can come in and go bang, 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 bang. It's like, or I'm like, I want you to play this. Yep, that bang, bang. It goes quite fast, and you got more time to create after that. Yeah, that's a good point. Instead of just going on trying to learn this and don't go over and over and over and over again. It can slow down the process as well. Yeah. And even just with the creativity, it can give you a block. It halts. So it's a funny thing. Arrangements can be things that can help you, but they can also be a thing that can stop the whole process too. Yeah. Yeah. Because if your mind this is what it needs, this is what it is. Or if you're recording for a particular thing, like if you're recording for sync licensing, or you're recording for film or for movies, you require that sound. And if you're not getting that sound, well, it's not going to cut it. So this is where you need to work. So, catering for these things. If you're doing something that's your own creativity, I think you've got more options there. Definitely. Yeah, but you're right. Dependent on the genre, the style. Yeah. Especially, film music. That's depends on the film as well. Yeah. If it's like a comedy, yeah. Yeah, you're not going to put something dramatic in there. No. Or melodramatic. Unless it's a black comedy, but. Yeah. But that's probably another thing to look into is the sync licensing and music for film. That's a totally different concept as well, which I've dabbled in a little bit. Yeah. In regards to creating for, it's just totally different, and that's where being a multi-instrumentalist can have its perks, because you know what these sounds are supposed to be. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Even if you're doing it with samples and stuff like that, you know what they're supposed to sound like. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, it's the arrangements. I think are key for some things, but don't let the arrangement be the things that's going to stop you from your creativity, because arrangements can also happen on the fly. Exactly. Yeah. You've got to allow for that. Be a bit flexible in that sense.
Yeah.
Definitely. A word from our sponsors.
Oh, yes.
Just thanks to Cake Eclipse for, again, the beautiful cakes, which we're going to have later on. Yeah. Thanks, Amla.
Thank you, Valentino.
Till next time.
Yes. Take care.
Ciao. The Strike a Chord podcast, presented to you by valentinoflamenco.com and amlamusic.com.